some movements that are going to build just a little bit of heat. So you might experience a light sweat, a little sweat. So if you are someone who tends to get a little thirsty when you do exercise, you might want to have a little bottle of water or a glass of water nearby. And then you don't need anything specific for tonight's practice, just your yoga mat. If you prefer to sit on something a little later, we're going to be doing some seated meditation. And so if you want to grab like a yoga blanket or a meditation cushion for later, you might want to get that. And then that's it. That's all I want to say before we start. So Ellen, I think, went to grab something, so I'm going to wait till she comes back. Mm-hmm. Yep, perfect. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, and I'm going to pin my video. Okay. Oh, we got a little surprise guest. A little cutie, a baby yogi. Okay, so we're going to start lying down. So I want you to make yourself comfortable in your head and your neck. And then once you're down, go ahead and bend your knees and place your feet onto the floor. And walk your feet apart, just a little bit wider than your hips. And then let your knees come into touch. Hi, baby. So this is constructive resting pose when you've got the knees touching and the feet a little bit wider. And the idea with this posture is to allow the front of the hips to relax so that the abdominals and the front of the hips don't really have to work too hard to hold the weight of the legs when they're resting into one another. So try and relax your lower back here. Relax your abdominal muscles. And then start to pay attention to all the places where your body's touching the ground. Notice your feet. Notice the back of your body, your shoulders, the way that the back of your head is resting on the ground. And let this coming into the sense of touch be a way to center you in this moment, to ground you. And it's nice to layer in intention. So you might take a moment now to set an intention for your practice. I'm going to give you some examples. You might ask yourself, why am I here? Why do I like yoga? What brings me to the practice? You might ask yourself, how do I want to feel during my practice? And then you might even ask yourself, how do I want to feel after the practice? And now let your intentions go and just come back into the sensation of your body resting on the earth. It's coming back into your body. And start to notice your breathing. And I want you to travel with your breath wherever it goes in the body. Notice the way the belly rises and falls, the way that the ribs expand and contract. You might feel the way your chest rises and falls. Perhaps you can feel the breath in your shoulders, your neck, in the nostrils. Now I want you to track a full cycle of breath. Watch the breath as you inhale. And then exhale, watching the exhalation. And when you get to the bottom of the exhale, say 1 to signify a full cycle of breath. And then watch another cycle of breath. Inhale and exhale. And when you get to the bottom of the exhale, say 2, signifying another cycle of breath. I want you to keep going and count the next cycle of breath. Inhale and exhale. 3. Inhale, exhale. 4. And then do that one more time, counting 5 full cycles of breath. And then once you've completed the 5th cycle, start over. Starting with the first cycle again, and then counting all the way up to 5. 5 full cycles of breath. Really nice. Now, go ahead and let go of your breathing meditation and allow your eyes to open up. I want you to just take in the room, take in what's within your peripheral vision, just noticing your ceiling. And then start to straighten your legs out onto the floor. And once the knees are straight, you're going to point and flex your feet. I want you to just wiggle your toes. Move your feet around a little bit here so you can feel your ankles. Notice the soles of the feet, your calves. And now I want you to flex your feet and reach through your heels. Engage your calves, engage your thighs. Engage your glutes. You're squeezing all the muscles of the legs. I want you to take a big breath in. And then exhale and release. Relax your feet, your glutes, your legs. Relax your body. You do that again. Flex your feet. Squeeze your leg muscles. Squeeze your glutes. And now make fists. And squeeze your forearms, your upper arms, your shoulders, chest, and belly. Take a big breath in. And then exhale and let it go. Relax your arms, relax your legs, relax your belly, your glutes, your chest. We're going to do that one more time. Flex your feet, squeeze your leg muscles, gluteal muscles, squeeze your fists, your arms, your shoulders, your belly, chest, back. Maybe even pierce your lips like you've just bitten into a very sour lemon. Squeeze your facial muscles, your eyes squinched. Take a big breath in. Everything engaged, feeling the activity, energy, sensation in your body. And then let it go as you exhale. Let the whole body go and relax and melt and release. Just feeling all that sensation, intentional tension you've created in your body, release. Okay, and now on your next breath in, you're going to reach your arms all the way up above your head. And you're going to take a nice big full body stretch when you get here. I want you to reach through your right arm, reach through your left arm, just feeling your ribs kind of wiggle a little side to side, reaching through your right arm, reaching through your left arm. Keep going here, reaching opposite arms one at a time. And start to reach through the opposite leg. So if you've got your right arm reaching, reach through your left leg. And then reach through your left arm and your right leg. Just keep reaching, opposite arm and leg. Letting your breath flow in a natural way. Good. And now on your next exhale, you're going to release. You're going to let your arms come all the way down by your sides. I want you to bend your knees, place your feet onto the floor, and then hug your knees in towards your body. Okay, and now gently rock a little side to side. And as you rock side to side, you should take a moment to acknowledge how you feel. Just notice how the body feels right now. Notice the quality of the mind, the quality of the thoughts. Okay. Now go ahead and set your feet down onto the floor. And you're going to bring just your right arm up, just your right arm up. And you're going to roll to your right side. Your right arm becomes like a little pillow for the head. And then you're going to gently press yourself up. Come up to a comfortable seated position with both legs crossed. Okay, so Sukhasana, easy seated position. I want you to let your hands rest comfortably in your lap, or you can place your palms onto your knees. And I want you to find some length in your spine so you feel like your shoulders are rolling back and down. You've got a widening across your collarbones, a long neck, just really lengthening up through the crown of your head. I want you to take a nice deep breath in when you get here. And then go ahead and sigh it out again. Beautiful. And now from Sukhasana, we're going to come into a pose called bound ankle pose. So I want you to take the soles of your feet together and let your knees open up out to the side like butterfly wings. Okay? And then once the knees are open, find your tall spine again. Grab a hold of your ankles and then walk the ankles in towards your pelvis until you feel a comfortable stretch in your inner thighs and your groins. And then I want you to take your hands and place them on the ground behind your hips with your fingertips pointing in the same direction as you're facing, if it feels okay in the wrists to do so. And I want you to roll your shoulders back. Feel your shoulder blades come together so you get a nice widening across your chest again. Let your hips be real heavy here, but tone the belly muscles. Okay, feel the navel pull towards the spine a bit. This is a really nice pose for the end of the day, especially if we've been sitting a lot. Kind of opening up the pelvic girdle here, allowing for some nice fresh blood flow into the area. This is really great for toning the reproductive organs and other internal organs like the kidney, the bladder. So take another deep breath here. Breathe into your heart. Good. And now we're going to take this into a forward fold. So walk your hands in front of your feet now. And then start to stretch your arms forward. And then hinge forward, folding over the legs, letting the upper body release towards the lap. Now, if you need to widen the diamond shape to create a comfortable stretch, if it starts to feel like there's too much resistance here, having the heels pulled in towards the body, you can adjust the size of your diamond shape so that it feels like a nice stretch. Let the space at the base of the neck and the shoulders relax. Let your head drop and just breathe. Nice forward fold, just a stretch for the hips. Good. And now, as you're ready to, you're going to come up nice and slow back to the upright position. And then I want you to take a hold of the outside of the knees and bring the knees together. And then you're going to swing your legs around to one side and turn over onto your hands and your knees. We'll move into tabletop position. Now, once you're here, I want you to bring your palms underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers comfortably wide. Take the knees underneath the hips. And then on your next inhale, you're going to lift your head, lift your heart, lift your tailbone, moving into cow pose, letting the belly drop, like you're creating a nice saddle in the back. And then on the exhale, you're going to round your spine like a cat. You're going to push the earth away, let your head drop, and draw your tailbone under. Inhale, lift your head, lift your heart, lift your tailbone, cow pose. And then exhale and round your spine. Push the earth away, draw the navel in, feel the back of your heart widen. Keep going. Just flowing at your own breath pace now through cat and cow. As you do these movements, as you flow back and forth between the two postures, I want you to just pay attention to the sensations that you feel in your body. Pay attention to the breath and where it goes. Travel with it. Use those two anchors to keep you present. Really pay attention to what you're doing while you're doing it. Just letting your practice unfold. Really giving your body what it needs right now. Good. And now I want you to come back to center, back to a nice neutral position of your spine. And you're going to walk your hands forward, just a couple of inches in front of your shoulders. And so we're setting up for a modified plank position. And so once you walk your hands forward in front of the shoulders a few inches, I want you to then shift your body weight forward so that your shoulders float back over your wrists. Your hips are going to come forward of your knees, but don't let them drop far down towards the earth. Keep them lifted. Lift them up a little higher, Jumana. Yeah, there you go. And then lift your feet away from the ground and cross your ankles, one on top of the other, so that you're in a modified plank. Good. And I want you to feel your belly muscles turn on here. If you had a zipper that went from your pubic bone to your lower ribs, zip up. Okay, there might be a feeling of the front ribs knitting together. The front ribs knitting together and then pulling in. Now try and make a straight line from your tailbone to the crown of your head. So you might need to lift your head so your head's in line with your spine. Yeah. You're going to be looking probably straight down towards the space between your hands or maybe just beyond the front edge of your mat. And then I want you to draw your tailbone in. Okay, so you feel like you're drawing your tailbone under. That's it. Okay, now feel how strong you are in your center. You've got this like very sturdy trunk of your body. Okay, and we're going to stay here for just about 2 more cycles of breath. Breathe in, breathe out, 1 cycle of breath. Do that 1 more time. Conscious breathing as you hold plank variation. It's a strengthening pose. Good. Okay, now when you finish this cycle of breath, go ahead and release into child's pose, just to give your wrists a little break. So you can set your ankles down, let your hips move back towards your heels, and then drop your head towards the floor. You can bend your elbows slightly so that your shoulders and your upper back relax. And just take a few breaths here. Once again, just noticing how you feel. Notice how the body feels. Notice the quality of the mind. So child's pose is a resting pose. Know that you can come to this position anytime you need to. If you start to feel too much resistance from your practice, come here and rest, and then join us when you are feeling balanced again. And now we're going to move back into the variation of plank pose. So I want you to come up to tabletop again. And you're going to walk your hands forward again, a couple of inches in front of your shoulders. And then shift your body weight forward so that your shoulders float over your wrists. Let your hips come forward. Let them drop just enough to where you feel your abdominals turn on. Then you're going to lift your feet away from the earth and cross your ankles once again. And we're setting up for the push-up position, the yogi push-up position. So from here, I want you to take your hands just a little wider than your shoulders. Okay? And for these push-ups, they're not going to be the chaturanga push-ups. So we're not going to be creating that 90-degree angle where we hug the elbows in. It's okay to let your elbows come out a little bit. And I want you to just do comfortable push-ups here. All right? So make this more about staying really strong and steady in your core. Lower down to about halfway. Okay? If you only make it a quarter of the way, that's okay. And then push back up. Good. Okay, try that again. Lowering down, perhaps you exhale just to where you feel your edge. And then push back up. Good. Try that 3 more times. Mindful push-ups here. Keep your shoulders on your back, your chest wide. And keep the breath flowing, nice and even. You know, wideness across your collarbones. Once you've completed the 5 mindful push-ups, then you're going to make your way back into child's pose again. And you're going to let yourself rest. Good work. Good work. If you need to roll the wrists a little bit here, maybe you want to turn the palms up, open and close the hands. Just release the wrists a little bit. Good. Nice work. Okay, now from here, we're going to come back into tabletop position. We're going to shift forward into the variation of plank pose once more. And this time we're going to lower all the way down to the belly. I want you to come all the way down. And once you're laying on your belly, straighten your legs and point your toes. And bring your hands right underneath your shoulders so that your elbows are lifted away from the ground and your forearms are hugging in towards your side ribs. Okay, we're setting up for cobra pose. And now I want you to point your toes, engage the muscles of your legs, and really ground through the lower half of the body. You're going to squeeze your glutes, press your pubic bone into the mat. Now on your next inhale, I want you to lift your heart, lift your chest, lift your shoulders, lift your head away from the earth, coming into low cobra pose. I want you to stay here for 5 mindful cycles of breath. If 5 is too many cycles, I want you to self-adjust. If 3 makes more sense, then that's okay. We're going to be doing 3 cobra poses total. So after you're done with 5 cycles of breath, then you're going to rest. Good. Resting for a moment, relaxing the legs, relaxing the arms, the shoulders. And then inhale and lift your heart again. As your heart lifts, reach through the crown of your head, reach through your toes, press your pubic bone down, and find as much length through your lower back as you can. There's a toning of the navel center here. You might also energetically drag your heels of your hands back, as if you're trying to pull your mat out from underneath you to lift your heart and move it forward. Good. Take another deep breath in. And then release, releasing back down to your mat. Good. And now do that one more time. Go ahead and lift your heart, lift your head, coming into that low cobra pose. Good. Stay here and breathe. Now, if you'd like, you can reach so much through your toes that your legs float away from the earth a little bit. Just inviting in a little bit of low locust pose. Good. Breathe here. This is a strengthening pose for the back. Okay. And then go ahead and release, coming all the way back down to the earth. Now, make a little pillow with the hands. You're going to stack one palm on top of the other. Let your elbows come out to the side. And then I want you to bend your knees and let your legs, your shin bones, sway side to side. Like they're windshield wipers, letting your shin bones sway side to side. Yeah, there you go, Jumana, that's it. Swaying side to side. Okay, and this is a little rotation for the hips. You can feel your hips rotating side to side. A gentle release for the lower back. Okay, now go ahead and straighten your legs again. And you're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders again. And then you're going to push up into that variation of plank pose with the knees on the earth. And then from here, we're going to make our way into a downward facing dog. So I want you to curl your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. And push the earth away with your hands. Okay, root down through all 10 finger pads. Straighten the arms as much as you can. Soften the space where the base of the neck meets the shoulders. And lift your hips up as high as they can go. Now feel free to pedal your feet here if you want, bending one knee, sinking the opposite heel. Just kind of working a little bit into the hamstrings. Down dog is one of the essential yoga postures. It's an inversion. It allows the head to be below the heart, which creates fresh blood flow to the brain. It's really clearing for the mind. It's calming for the nervous system. It really helps to balance our endocrine system. Now from here, we're going to move into a standing forward fold. So I want you to walk your hands all the way back towards your feet. Let your heels come towards the earth. And then find yourself in a standing forward fold. Okay. Let your arms dangle. Really fold at the front of the hips. Feel the deep crease at the front of the hips. And the upper body just releasing over the legs. Let your head hang so you get a nice, long, lengthy back of your neck. And feel free to sway here a little side to side if you'd like. Letting your weight shift from the right foot to the left foot. And now, if you're holding opposite elbows, go ahead and release your arms so they're straight. And I want you to bend your right knee so that you can bring your right hand or your right fingertips to the earth. And keep your left leg straight. You're going to walk your right hand so that it's towards the center of your mat, underneath where your head is looking. And so right underneath where your eyes are. We're going to be coming into a twist. Okay, so you're going to plant your right hand into the mat. Keep your right knee bent. And then as you inhale, you're going to sweep your left arm out to the side so that your ribs rotate towards your left leg. And you're opening into a twist. So bend your right knee, Jumana. Keep your left leg straight. Keep your right hand on the floor. And then sweep your left arm out to the side and up into the air. And turn your chest towards me. Yeah, take your left arm up. Yeah. And reach your left arm to the sky, up to the ceiling, so that your arms are like a T. Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's a twist and it's a stretch for your left leg. You did it. It's perfect. Good. Does it feel good? Good. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale and release your left hand to the earth. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to bend your left knee. Straighten your right leg. Keep your left fingers on the floor. And now sweep your right arm up into the air. So your arms are like a T. Yeah. And your ribs are rotating. You're just keeping your spine as long as you can here. Just take a few breaths. Maybe up to 5 cycles of breath. Good. And then go ahead and release. Release your right hand to the earth. And now bend both your knees generously and start to roll your way up to a standing position. So you're going to stand, roll your way up, coming up nice and slow. Good. And once you get to the top, I want you to reach your arms all the way up. Take a big breath in. And then exhale and join your hands to your heart. Good. Now bring your arms by your side. Standing tall in mountain pose. With your arms by your sides, your feet firmly planted into the earth. You're going to take an inhale and reach your arms up again. Taking a big breath in. And then exhale and draw the hands to the heart. We're going to do that again. Inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up. And exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Beautiful. Good. And now we're going to move into a balancing posture. Okay, so I want you to take your hands to your hips and shift your weight to your right foot and bend your left knee. And now turn your left knee out and then pick up your foot and place the sole of your foot to the inside of the right leg. And now you can place the foot to the inner calf, the inner knee. Maybe you walk the foot all the way up to the inner thigh. If you need to place the toes onto the ground for a little extra stability at any time, you can. We're moving into tree pose. Get as tall as you can in your spine. Really root down through the mound of the big toe, the standing foot. If you'd like, at any time, you can bring your palms together at your heart. And then steady your gaze onto something in the room that's not moving. Tree pose. It's really a beautiful meditative posture. As you find some stillness, see if you can also find that in your mind. Just steadying the mind. Now go ahead and release your bent knee, setting the left foot back onto the floor. Let your arms come down. And then we're going to do the other side. So go ahead and shift your weight now to the left foot. Bend your right knee. Go ahead and turn your right knee out. Lift the foot and then place it to the inside of the left leg. You can bring your palms to your heart here whenever you're ready to. You find that steady balance. Maybe on this side, you want to try extending your arms up into the air. Find that place where you can cultivate that steady presence, that focused, mindful presence. Keep your breath flowing. Keep the awareness of the breath going. Good. Good. And then go ahead and release. Set your right foot back down. Let your arms come down. And then just go ahead and shake your arms out. Shake your legs out. Give your whole body a little shake. And just release. Good. All right. Now, come on down to your mat and find a comfortable seated position once again. You're going to cross your legs comfortably. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to move into a seated twist. I want you to take an inhale and follow your breath as it travels up your spine. And then as you exhale, rotate to the right side. Bring your left arm across your body. Grab a hold of the outside of your right leg. Place your right arm behind you. Put your hips onto the earth. And take 5 cycles of breath, up to 5 cycles of breath here. A simple twist. And now gently release, coming back to center, placing the palms on the knees. And then take a nice deep breath in and follow your breath as it travels all the way up your spine. And then as you exhale, rotate to the left side now. Bring your right arm across your body, grab a hold of the outside of the left leg. The left arm goes behind you, the hand resting behind your hips, onto the earth. Keep as much length in your spine as you can. Relax your shoulders. Relax your facial muscles. Just breathe. Good. And then go ahead and release and come back to center. And from here, you're going to straighten your legs out in front of you. We're going to set up for a seated forward fold. So I want you to straighten the legs, flex your feet. Make sure your toes are pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Bring your palms right next to the hips, right on the outsides of your hips, with your fingertips pointing in the same direction as your legs. Bring your shoulders back and take a moment here to sit up as tall as you can in staff pose. Energize the muscles of the legs. Now with a straight spine, I want you to inhale all the way up your spine. Bring your arms up, big breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to hinge forward at your hips, reach forward and fold, coming into seated forward fold. Let your arms come down. Let your hands land wherever they land. Perhaps they're right there on the ankles or the shins. Maybe they were able to reach the toes today. Just folding to a comfortable, balanced, seated forward fold where you're getting a nice stretch in the whole back of the body. Let your head release. Relax your jaw. Breathe deep. This is Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. This pose is wonderful for calming the nervous system, helping us move into that rest and digest mode. Cultivates a peaceful, relaxed state. Good. And now I want you to take your time as you come up to the upright position. Rolling up one vertebrae at a time. You're going to bend your knees now, and you're going to lower yourself down onto your back. And now I want you to lie down into a comfortable reclined position of choice. If you want to keep your legs straight, you can. If you prefer to bring the feet into the bound ankle position with the soles together and the knees open out to the side, you can. If you happen to have a rolled blanket or a couple of blocks to support the knees in that position, go ahead and set yourself up for success there. We're going to relax. We're going to spend a few moments now just being. So I want you to take this moment, these next few moments, to really nurture and choose wisely the position that you are placing your body in. Let your arms be by your sides. Roll your palms open. Relax your jaw and your cheeks and your eyes. And then take a few breaths, a few cycles of conscious deep breaths as we do to center ourselves and relax ourselves a little deeper. And then let your breathing be natural. Let your breathing be gentle. Let it be as easy as it wants to be. Let yourself truly be practicing the art of doing absolutely nothing now. While you're resting here, I'm going to read a poem to you by Roger Keyes. And this is a poem about just being. It's about allowing life to just be. It's a poem about allowing life to live through you. And the poem is called Hokusai Says. Hokusai says, look carefully. He says, pay attention, notice. He says, keep looking, stay curious. Hokusai says, there is no end to seeing. He says, look forward to getting old. He says, keep changing. You just get more who you really are. He says, get stuck, accept it, repeat yourself as long as it is interesting. He says, keep doing what you love. He says, keep praying. He says, every one of us is a child. Every one of us is an ancient. Every one of us has a body. He says, every one of us is frightened. He says every one of us has to find a way to live with fear. He says everything is alive. Shells, buildings, people, fish, mountains, trees. Wood is alive. Water is alive. Everything has its own life. Everything lives inside of us. He says, live with the world inside of you. He says, it doesn't matter if you draw or write books. It doesn't matter if you saw wood or catch fish. It doesn't matter if you sit at home and stare at the ants on your veranda, or the shadows of the trees and grasses in your garden. It matters that you care. It matters that you feel. It matters that you notice. It matters that life lives through you. Contentment is life living through you. Joy is life living through you. Satisfaction and strength is life living through you. He says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Love. Feel. Let life take you by the hand. Let life live through you. Allowing yourself some time for reflection now. Allowing yourself to just be with whatever arises in you in this moment, and then the next. Now, I want you to take an inhale and reach your arms straight up into the air. And just roll your wrists a couple of times in one direction and then the other. Go ahead and bend your knees now. Place your feet onto the earth if they're not already there. And then we're going to come into a simple twist on the right side first. I like to lift my hips, scooch them to the left, set them down, and then drop the knees to the right. Letting your knees drop to the right side for a simple twist. Let your arms open up into a nice big T shape. And just take a few conscious breaths here, letting go of any effort. Letting gravity do most of the work. Letting the earth support you. Breathing length through your whole spine. And then bring your knees back to center. And go ahead and take your simple twist on the other side now. You're going to let your knees drop to the left. making any adjustments you need so that your body feels good here, so that this feels like a nourishing release for your body. And then go ahead and bring your knees back to center. And you're going to place your feet down onto the floor. And we're going to come into a bridge pose. So I want you to make sure your feet are about the distance of the hips, and that the feet are about parallel to one another. Let your arms be by your sides. And then on your next inhale, I want you to lift your hips away from the ground. Squeeze your buttocks. Press into your feet. Tone the belly center. We can keep the arms as they are here with the shoulder blades apart if you'd like. If you want to have a little extra shoulder stretch. And you're going to roll your shoulder heads underneath your body. And bring your shoulder blades a little closer together. You might try interlacing the fingers behind you. Make sure that the neck feels comfortable here. Relax your face. Just take a few moments to breathe. This is a nice strengthening posture for the back. Go ahead, take one more breath. And then when you're ready to release, separate your shoulder blades apart. And then come all the way back down to the earth. You're going to be rolling to one side now. Choose your favorite side. And then gently press yourself up to a seat. And go ahead and cross the legs comfortably in front of you. Take a moment to sit up nice and tall once again. And just allow your hands to rest comfortably in your lap, or they can rest palms on the knees. Let your shoulders soften away from your ears. And we're going to spend a few moments here in seated mindfulness meditation. This will be a listening meditation. So I want you to close your eyes. Relax your facial muscles. And just take a moment to listen to the sounds around you. Notice which sounds are close to you. Notice which sounds are farther away from you. Maybe you can hear the sound of the air conditioner, the sounds of crickets outside. Perhaps you can hear the sounds of family members, sounds of life around you. See if you can allow each and every sound that you hear flow through you. Let your awareness of each and every sound be like a flow. As one sound becomes the forefront of your attention, let that sound go when you notice the next sound. Just moving from one sound to the next. And now allow yourself to come into all your senses. Just allowing all your senses to widen. Your sense of touch, noticing the way you're seated on the earth. your sense of sound. Noticing the temperature of the air as it touches your face. Noticing your sense of smell, if there's any smells that you can detect. Noticing any little bits of light behind the eyelids. Noticing any tastes or lack of taste in the mouth. Allowing yourself to be just with this moment, exactly as it is. Now the sound of a soft chime will bring us out of our meditation. You can gently open up your eyes. Just take back in this space. And take a moment to just acknowledge how you feel in this moment, your body, your mind. And we're going to bring our palms together in front of the heart. And we're going to close our practice with a bit of gratitude. Gratitude for the practice itself. Lately, I've been thinking so much about lineage and ancestry, and I can't help but think about the ancient practices that we freely have privilege to practice today. Practices of yoga, meditation from India and Asian countries. Just expressing deep gratitude for those ancestors, for sharing their wisdom throughout the centuries. So we'll close now with a single Om. To join me, take a nice deep breath in. Om. Namaste.
Thank you. That was lovely.
Yay! I'm so glad to take class with you. It's such a treat. I hope I get to see you again.
Yes. All right. Good night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good night, Ellen. See you soon. Bye-bye. Hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Good night, Timana. Thank you so much for joining me. It was so good to see you.